Hey there, history enthusiasts! Welcome back to This Moment in History. Today we're diving into a unique chapter, exploring the military service of some of your favorite actors. From World War II to Vietnam, these stars not only graced the silver screen, but also served their country. But before we jump in, if you enjoy exploring the fascinating stories of the past, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, ring the notification bell, and give us a thumbs up. Now let's get started. Clint Eastwood. Our first actor on the list is none other than the legendary Clint Eastwood. Clint served in the United States Army from 1951 to 1953 during the Korean War, although he didn't see combat. Quite a departure from the tough characters he'd later portray on screen. Morgan Freeman. Next up, we have the incomparable Morgan Freeman. Morgan served in the United States Air Force from 1955 to 1959 as a radar technician. His military service was during peacetime, but it undoubtedly left an impact on his life. Chuck Norris. Now let's talk about Chuck Norris. Norris, a legendary martial artist. A real-life badass on screen and often iconic roles, shared the spotlight in several films right alongside the likes of Bruce Lee, David Carradine, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Chuck, known for his martial arts prowess on screen, served in the United States Air Force from 1958 to 1962, but was fortunate not to see combat during his military service. On a personal note, Chuck Norris is legitimately my wife's uncle, so I'm allowed to call him Uncle Chucky. Mel Brooks. Moving on to a comedy icon, Mel Brooks. Mel Brooks, famous for his comedic genius, fought in the Battle of the Bulge during World War II, while serving in the United States Army from 1944 to 1946. Drew Carey. Let's shift gears to another funny man, Drew Carey. Drew, known for his humor on Whose Line Is It Anyway? And The Price is Right, served in the United States Marine Corps Reserves from 1980 to 1986, but didn't see action during wartime. Adam Driver. From comedy to drama, let's talk about Adam Driver. Adam served in the United States Marine Corps from 2001 to 2004. Following the September 11th attacks, he was deployed to Iraq, showcasing a different side of the actor we know from films like Star Wars. James Earl Jones. Now let's hear about the voice of Darth Vader, James Earl Jones. James served in the United States Army from 1953 to 1955, but did not serve during wartime. His commanding voice found its roots in military service. Tom Selleck. From the big screen to the small screen, we have Tom Selleck. Tom served in the California Army National Guard from 1967 to 1973. While he didn't serve in combat, his military experience is a part of his journey. Mickey Rooney. Let's shift to a Hollywood icon, Mickey Rooney. Mickey served in the United States Army from 1944 to 1946 during World War II, showcasing a different side of the beloved actor. Kirk Douglas. Another Hollywood legend, Kirk Douglas, also had a military chapter. Kirk served in the United States Navy from 1941 to 1944 during World War II, demonstrating his commitment to both country and craft. Jimi Hendrix. Now let's talk about the legendary guitarist, Jimi Hendrix. Jimi served in the United States Army from 1961 to 1962, although he was discharged before deployment to Vietnam. Ice-T. From rock to rap, let's explore Ice-T's military journey. Ice-T served in the United States Army from 1979 to 1983, participating in the Army's Army Pathfinder School, but did not see combat. Henry Fonda. Now let's honor the iconic Henry Fonda. Unlike his communist daughter, Hanoi Jane, Henry served in the United States Navy from 1942 to 1945 during World War II, adding a touch of heroism to his illustrious career. Gene Wilder. Our next actor brought magic to the screen, Gene Wilder. Gene served in the United States Army from 1956 to 1958 during the Korean War, working in the medical corps. Now let's highlight a comedian with a military twist, Rob Riggle. Rob Riggle. Rob served in the United States Marine Corps from 1990 to 2013 with deployments in Kosovo, Afghanistan, and Iraq. Pat Sajak. Next up, a familiar face from game shows, Pat Sajak. Pat served in the United States Army during the Vietnam War from 1968 to 1970, adding a unique twist to his hosting career. Bea Arthur. Golden Girl Bea served in the United States Marine Corps Women's Reserve from 1943 to 1945 during World War II, showcasing a different side of the beloved actress. Elvis Presley. Now let's explore the rock and roll legend Elvis Presley. Elvis served in the United States Army from 1958 to 1960. While stationed in Germany, he didn't experience any combat. Montel Williams. From talk shows to the military, Montel Williams had a unique journey. Montel served in the United States Marine Corps from 1974 to 1978, bringing his military experience to the forefront of his varied career. Dale Dye. Now let's talk about an actor, Dale Dye. Roles in iconic movies like Saving Private Ryan, Band of Brothers, and Forrest Gump. Dale served in the United States Marine Corps from 1964 to 1984. After serving in Vietnam, he later became a military advisor for films, blending his two passions. Ed McMahon. The king of late-night TV, Ed McMahon also had a military chapter. Ed served in the United States Marine Corps during World War II and the Korean War, showcasing a different side of the beloved entertainer. Chuck Yeager. Now let's celebrate a legend in aviation, Chuck Yeager. He was a record-setting test pilot who in October 1947 became the first pilot in history confirmed to have exceeded the speed of sound. Chuck served in the United States Army Air Forces as a famed test pilot during World War II, breaking the sound barrier and leaving an indelible mark on aviation history. James Garner. From the notebook to military service, James Garner had a diverse career. James served in the United States Merchant Marine during World War II and later in the United States Army during the Korean War, showcasing a different side of the beloved actor. Gene Hackman. Now let's talk about the versatile Gene Hackman, with roles like in The Poseidon Adventure, Uncommon Valor, Superman, and The Crimson Tide. Gene served in the United States Marine Corps but did not see combat during his military service. Don Knotts. Moving on to a comedy legend, Don Knotts. Don served in the United States Army during World War II, showcasing a different side of the beloved comedian. Leonard Nimoy. Now let's explore the sci-fi realm with Leonard Nimoy, portraying the unforgettable Spock on Star Trek. Leonard served in the United States Army Reserves but did not serve in combat. Tommy Lee Jones. Next up, we have the multi-talented Tommy Lee Jones. Tommy Lee Jones served in the United States Army during the Vietnam War, adding a military chapter to his storied career. Robert Duvall. Now let's talk about a Hollywood legend. Robert served in the United States Army during the Korean War, showcasing a different side of the acclaimed actor. Willie Nelson. The iconic Willie served in the United States Air Force but did not serve in combat. Alan Alda. The multi-talented Alan Alda funny man, Hawkeye from the famous sitcom MASH. Alan served in the United States Army Reserve from 1956-1958 during the Korean War. He served 6 months as a gunnery officer. Clark Gable. Hollywood's flying ace, a true Hollywood legend who soared through the skies, Clark Gable served in the United States Army Air Forces from 1942-1944. During World War II, he flew combat missions in Europe. Lee Marvin. Lee Marvin, a real-life hero on screen and off. He served in the United States Marine Corps from 1942-1945. During World War II, he was wounded in action at the Battle of Saipan. R. Lee Ermey. And rounding out our list, we have a real-life drill instructor that made it all the way to the silver screen. R. Lee Ermey served in the United States Marine Corps from 1961-1972 during the Vietnam War. He is most remembered for his role Gunnery Sergeant Hartman in the famous movie Full Metal Jacket as everyone's most beloved drill sergeant. Before we move on, let's take a moment to salute those who not only served on screen, but also served their country. Their stories, both in Hollywood and the military, remind us of the diverse and extraordinary journeys that shape our history. And there you have it, a thank you to these actors who, beyond their on-screen personas, answered the call to serve. If you found these stories intriguing, don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. Join us for more fascinating moments in history right here on This Moment in History. Until next time, thanks for watching.